Hey, good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well and staying healthy. Just wanted to let you know, gosh, it's day two back in the office. Had a question about what are the specific expectations for beginning of the year professional development. And I had captured some of that in the expectations PowerPoint for ACE. But since I have the time, I'm going to create this little short video and provide you some information. I have some notes on my wall, so if I'm looking up and looking to the left, it's about that. So we come back on the 27th and we go until the 3rd. Those are our first 5 days back. One of the things that we're really going to need to I've been thinking about what is the big picture focus that ties everything together. And that really, there's a lot. I could tie it to TIA, teacher incentive allotment, but knowing that a lot of our professional development in work is going to be around formative assessment. We will need to make sure, because of our current situation, that our teachers really in language arts and in math have a deep understanding of how to use IXL for diagnostic testing. So if you don't have ICs or folks in your building that are savvy in the use of that, please let me know, Alicia know, so that we can make sure we get folks up to speed. But it's really going to be about the diagnostic testing. We know that we use MAP, but that won't occur until September. And just making sure that formatively, we also talked about what professional development can we deliver from a formative assessment standpoint. And Alicia is designing a professional development that can be turned around with ICs on questioning, and that fits under the umbrella of formative assessment. We will be needing to pull K2 teachers during that first week for a couple hours so that we can provide some information on the TRA, Texas Reading Academy, and provide them insight into MClass, which is the diagnostic tool in reading for K2. So again, under the guise of formative assessment. So that will also be important. But a major component of what we'll be doing is making sure that teachers have the understanding of the teacher incentive allotment. You know, there is a committee that at the district level that has been working on a guidebook really capturing those big areas of T-tests and observation, professional learning, performance, and culture. Once that guidebook is complete, relatively complete, we'll be receiving feedback from principals. That's already scheduled in a small group of teachers that will provide us some insights so that we can finalize that. But that core group of central office people who are heading that committee, we are working on how we want to craft information that can be rolled out to all of the ACE teachers so that they'll have information. That will either come in the form of face-to-face on-campus presentation, Zoom, campus by campus, and we probably the least likely will do a full all ACE Zoom to provide you information. We'll probably do it campus by campus so that teachers really get a deep understanding of TIA and what that means and what implications it has for them this year. With TIA, some of the work that really at the campus level should be covered at the beginning of the year in those first 5 days would really be orientation, or I should say reorientation on the T-test rubric, making sure that, and I keep going back to a conversation we have with Dr. Curtis and the importance of people really knowing what the rubric says, what it means, and where they fall on that rubric. And you're going to really need to reflect on the end of the year evaluations with your teachers, because we as administrators and coaches will spend a great deal of time calibrating around that rubric and actually going through some formal walks and some T-test calibration through the use of videos. So that's going to be important. And lastly, making sure that you continue to revisit the big rocks, those big 5 areas of student culture. I think you're going to need to spend a great deal of time at the beginning of the year on student culture routines, just based on the fact of what we're experiencing with COVID. One way direction, while we are really going to have, and I'll explain this in another video, the number of models has been reduced by the state, but it's either going to be face-to-face or virtual. Those are the two options. But we're still going to need to try to, maintain some social distancing. There's no 6-foot limitation now, but just making sure that we're planning for the best use of our space to keep our kids and our teachers safe. And entry and exit routines and cafeteria and recess and restroom, all of those things are going to need to be thought about. And I'm working on a guide for you all that will help with that. Then when we start talking about staff culture, I really think we're going to need to spend time. And I sent you information in the PowerPoint about teacher self-care. Elena Aguilar and the resource that I provided to administrators, I think that's a great guide that we'll be using, Alicia and I, to help promote month-by-month focus on SEL for teachers. I think that is huge. Then we know that we've got collaborative planning, DDI, and observation and feedback. And you've got some real clarity around those practices, what they do, how they function, what they mean, and really which direction we're trying to go to. In collaborative planning, we want to have more pedagogical discussions. We want to talk more about instructional delivery. The whole movement in ACE 2.0 is really about getting to discussion on instructional practices. So if you think about the teacher incentive allotment and teachers focusing on the development of SLOs and using the professional learning plan, the individualized professional learning plans, all that is about really getting teachers to focus on their instructional practice. And so if we can move collaborative planning to more of an instructional conversation, that would be awesome. DDI, you've got protocols for that, but really we want to be able to move to having more deliberate conversations about where kids are, and then really how we can move those that are not performing at a level that we need them to. And then the observation and feedback. I try to provide you clarity around that in that PowerPoint about who receives knee-to-knee, face-to-face, co-teaching, modeling work with, if you're a Tier 3 teacher, and then we can get into see it, name it, do it with those Tier 2s, and then really some real-time, on-the-fly coaching for those Tier 1 rock stars. So that is it. I think those things, and I'll put this in writing so that you have it in a PowerPoint slide. So that's a lot. That's a ton of stuff that you need to cover. And it can all, if you spend time looking at the list of things that we need to do and then sense making the connections between those, it won't feel like a lot. Even though it looks like a lot on paper, it really will not feel like a lot. Some of the things you will be responsible for, and some of the things will be provided for you. So I'll try to provide that clarity in the work. So hope this video makes a little bit of sense and provides some clarity to what I'm providing you in writing. If you need anything, let me know. I know principals report back tomorrow. So listen, hope you had an enjoyable, restful vacation. We're about to really rock it in year three. Take care. I'm a little bit tired already in day 2. I got to build my stamina. So I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.